While I get this fire started, I'm going to tell you a little story about Strawberry Mountain. So I got up, basically I postponed my trip a day, got up, drove up here, and I got to basically the trailhead. And when I got up, drove along the road, eventually it got to the point, needed to put some chains on, ended up putting some chains on, kept driving, and I got to a point where it would have been a poor choice for me to continue, I felt. I was at the end of, I had well past the end of the maintained road, and then I got to a spot where it was basically the end of any of the cabins or anything like that people had. So there I was. The snow is getting deep. All the tracks were already covered. And I was looking at it and I was like, man, this seems like a bad idea. But I really wanted that to stay lit. I was like, I really want to get up to Strawberry Mountain. There we go. So I was like, Strawberry Mountain's not happening. I have made enough poor decisions in my life to where I'm like, I don't want this to turn into another bad decision. The snow is not good snow. I will probably get stuck. My trooper is not going to do it. So I ended up turning around and I drove back down. If you're wondering why this is burning so good, it's fat wood. And this is a little lighter because when it's really cold out, don't really want to play around with trying to get a fire started. Hopefully this will give me enough to get it going. So I end up turning around, I come back down, I end up filming all of it. I end up coming back down and I get to the point where I'm at essentially the spot on the grade where last time I tried to get to Strawberry Mountain, well, I did technically get up it, basically where my vehicle went off and everything went like horribly wrong. Granted, it worked out the best way it possibly could have, like I did not die. Bonus, but like wrecked my vehicle, got stuck, had someone come get me, they got stuck, like on and on and on, like comedy of errors. So all that stuff has happened, or I had filmed all that stuff, and I was like, you know what though, I want to have an adventure. I'm all packed up, right? So I ended up driving down. I'm like, you know what, there's access to the falls. I'm gonna go hike out to the falls and I'm gonna go camp out there. Like, I'm not gonna drive home. Like, I'm down for adventure. So I'm like, it'll be a different kind of video. It won't be Strawberry Mountain. And so sure enough, I go. Like, anytime you film anything, it takes forever. Like hiking out, setting up the camera, or walking past your camera and then coming back for it. On and on and on. Ended up going through today and got some really, really cool footage. Even shot a separate video, basically on how to kind of maintain your honey badger, like how to break it down. All kinds of great content today. Really pleased. Came into this evening, got some more content, like documenting everything, like finding my spot for camp, putting up my tent, all these things. Then I'm like, man, you know what? I am running out of memory on this memory card. And rather than just swapping memory cards, I'm like, why don't I get rid of a bunch of the photos from time lapse I took? So I find some photos. I'm like, all right, delete. And it's like, are you sure you want to delete all these? Or it's like, do you want to delete all these? I'm like, yeah, I do. It's a giant time lapse. There's 1,600 photos. And so it says, are you sure? And I said, I am sure. And it starts deleting. And the little tracker bar is moving super slow. I'm like, what the heck's going on? Is it because it's like 20 degrees out right now, or probably less than that. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, this is weird, it's taking forever. And then I get this nagging feeling, sneaking suspicion, and I hit cancel. And at this point, it is deleted probably like 45 minutes. Basically, all of the footage I got today outside of the initial like time lapse I shot. Man, Strawberry Mountain, like whether it's the actual mountain or anything I try to do associated with it, it gets me, man. It gets me. So here I am, obviously processed a bunch of wood, hanging out, trying to get this fire going. What are you gonna do? Full disclosure, today, man, it definitely took a turn that I would have rather it did not take. That turn of course being when everything kind of went sideways and all my footage got erased. But I don't know. Silver linings, are there any? One, I will probably never ever do that again. I won't. I will try to erase something, and if it is actually like a bunch of photos from a time lapse, I now know distinctly how to just erase that and not everything on my memory card. So yeah, I guess there's a silver lining. I'll be honest though, like when it happened, nope, not breaking that. When it happened, I was looking at my camera and I was ready to pretty much like punch it over. Like, but then while I was thinking about that, I was also thinking, well, that wouldn't do anything for the situation at all. So I decided not to punch it over. But man, talk about frustrating. Like all that footage. And then I ended up calling my buddy Matt because there's a place I can hike back to where I have cell service. And so like that's another thing. Like it's not like I'm not on Strawberry Mountain. Like here's a silver lining of that. If I was on Strawberry Mountain, this fire would not be happening. Like I would just be laying in my bed and thinking to myself, wow, wonder how many hours until the sun comes up, because it's really cold and dark. Because there is like feet and feet and feet of snow up there, and it would take like untold hours to basically process wood for a fire. So silver lining, I do have a fire also. But yeah, I ended up calling my buddy Matt, and I was just like, man, this happened. And of course he felt bad for me, and really I was just venting because I was frustrated. But yeah, what are you gonna do, man? Like, you just gotta roll with it. So probably tomorrow I will give you a short tour of what I captured today and don't have. Basically kind of where I set up camp. Pretty cool spot, like by this waterfall and everything like that. But I'll get the footage and everything, show you guys that. And I may take a drive. Oh man, come on, fire. I may end up driving back up, show you where I could no longer get past it on the road. And in addition to that, maybe even the spot where I went off the last time I attempted to stay the night up on Strawberry Mountain. Admittedly, this fire will not bring back the footage that I lost today, but this is a super rad fire for being out here in the snow. I'm gonna burn this thing down. Man, I'm not gonna lie, this has put me in much better spirits considering all the time, effort, footage, and stuff that disappeared today. trying to make sure nothing pounces on me, which is why I have my honey badger right here, 1 arm's distance. But I'm gonna just enjoy this nice fire, and when it dies down, I'm gonna go ahead, climb into my bag, get a good night's sleep, and see what tomorrow has.